Okay, yeah, we got Auburn coming in. Auburn is a different team from last year. We're a different team, but I think they lost like 18 starters out of 22, something like that. So obviously, the big year last year, the completely different team. A lot of young guys, of course, but they got tremendous pride and tradition there at Auburn, history, and the guys are playing hard. They're 3-1, and play extremely hard. We'll get their best shot here Saturday afternoon at 3:30. Hopefully our team can play a little bit better, especially our offensive team. Our defensive team really came alive last week, as we all know. And for us to have a big year, our defense probably needs to play close to that every week. But offensively, what was really bad was all the little stupid penalties that took away 150 yards of offense. Seemed like we get a 20-yard gain, have holding penalties, have a good run, have another holding penalty, or this, that, and the other. So anyway, try to play a little bit smarter, try to get our quarterback in position to maybe not throw it at them, and give him some simpler plays or whatever, and play one of our best games. It'll probably take a real good game to beat Auburn this week. But looking forward to it. We've certainly not played our best. We're certainly not sitting around here patting each other on the back, but we as good as we can be at this point, win-loss record-wise. And if we can get better, get some things worked out, maybe we can go on and have a big year. But we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out Saturday afternoon. Any questions on anything?
Back to the room. Coach, by your joke, or it seemed like a joke about the Maryland jersey, seems like you would be opposed to something like that for South Carolina?
A little bit. But that's, it's anyone's particular taste. I'm a little bit more in tradition, and we're just going to wear these this one game. We're not going to wear these again. We'll go back to our traditional colors. So I'm a big believer in the traditional colors of team uniforms and so forth.
Steve, Auburn's got a very capable offense. Does it give you some confidence that your defense is coming off one of the best games of your tenure?
Well, we hope so. We hope our defense is sort of found out maybe who our best players are, what our best schemes of defense are, and offensively we know who our best running back is. That's one thing we know. Now we got to figure out throwing the ball a little bit better. But other than that, we're sort of learning what we do best and go from there.
Steve, how much work has Damiere Byrd gotten in this month that he's been suspended, and do you think he'll be able to step right in and help you?
Well, I don't know if suspended is the correct word for him. He's done nothing wrong. Okay? He was just ruled ineligible.
All right.
Okay.
How much work
So
has
he
he
wasn't
gotten
allowed
in
to
the 4
play.
weeks
So
since he's been ruled ineligible?
suspended is when you get in trouble and they don't let you play, in my opinion. So anyway, he'll suit up, and he's a true freshman that hadn't played yet, but he'll be in the mix. He'll be out there with, if we play 6 receivers, he'll certainly be out there.
Has he been with the scout team since he's been ineligible, or have you been working him with the regular guys just to keep him ready?
He's been practicing mostly with the regular guys all year. And we've got several walk-on guys that are doing real well. In fact, we were able to get them in game last week. Broom and Lowry both got in there at the end. So they do an excellent job with the scout team. So we've got plenty of players to help out there.
What's your comments about Auburn's special teams play? They seem to be ranked rather highly in SEC.
We're doing better. Yeah, we're doing better.
Speaking of Auburn's special teams play.
Well, first of all, John Butler's an excellent coach, and our players are playing with much better effort since the Georgia game. The Georgia game, we didn't look very good for some reason. But since then, covering kickoffs and punts and so forth, we got guys who can run. All they got to do is give effort. That's what special teams is all about. If you got pretty good athletes, I tell you, those Navy kids, and you want to watch some kids cover kickoffs, they came down like a bunch of wild guys trying to knock over anything got in front of them. So it's special teams, it's effort, and smarts, and wanting to do it. So hopefully we got the right guys out there doing it.
Last year, Steve, it seemed like Auburn just kept getting stronger and stronger as the season went along on the way to the championship. Is it your hope or your belief that your team can keep getting better each week and do the same sort of thing?
Well, we're just going one game at a time, and that's all you can do, so we have plenty to work on with the entire team and to get better. So we're just gonna worry about this one this week.
Steve Auburn's defense ranked, they've had some issues statistically. How much credence do you give to that in terms of your confidence over the offense to keep going?
Yeah, they've struggled, there's no question about that. I think they returned 1 or 2 starters on defense, maybe 3, I'm not sure. But they've, you know, have proven they can turn it around. You know, our defense was struggling until last week. We were struggling, and then last week we put it together. So anyway, who knows if who knows how our offense is going to play against them? But it's true that they have not played very well defensively, and they know that. And I'm sure they're going to try to get better.
Steve, the occasion you had to call timeout to keep the play clock from running out, was it the plays coming in slowly? Was it adjustments that weren't being made to your liking? What was going on? Is there any sort of issue
Well,
there?
we called it once when they were punting. They had a penalty, and I asked the ref, I said, is the clock dead? He said, yeah, it's dead. Well, he meant it was dead right now. I thought it was dead until they snapped it. But they wound it up inside of the last 2 minutes. You know, when the other team has a penalty, there's a clock. We declined the penalty so they could punt. And he told me, yeah, it's dead. Well, I said, I knew it was dead right now, but I said, after you, then all of a sudden things started running, and I ran down there and used our last timeout. I guess it was good fortune because we threw that little screen pass and scored right near the half, but that was the reason. Used it then. Now some other times, yeah, we get up there and we're trying to check to a play and this, that, and the other, and da-da-da. And we start late. It seems like we break the huddle on the sideline and the clock's running. You know, after a timeout or a new possession or whatever. Everybody said, well, don't go out there yet. The clock's not running. And then we get halfway out there and it's about 12 seconds. We got a guy shifting or something. So we've had a little confusion. But that's not our problem. We got a lineman that jumped offside when we didn't even have a play. We got another lineman jumped off on the little double cadence thing. And a bunch of holding penalties. That's our big problem. Our big problem is the careless penalties, not getting the play off on time.
So is Stephen making decisions quickly enough in terms of getting you in and out of the plays? That's not the issue with play.
No, it's got nothing. No, he's not in charge of that. He's not in charge of that.
Levi?
Coach, let me redirect my initial question. I asked you, what do you know about Auburn's special teams play?
I don't know the first one about our special. I don't know a lot about Auburn's. I haven't really researched them. We'll have to get Coach Butler in here to tell you a lot about them, to tell you the truth. I don't know a lot about them.
Coach knows that young tight end Rory Anderson got a few touches the other night. How much has he progressed since he got into the program, and do you want to get him more involved in all
Yeah, Buster's doing pretty well. He misses a play every now and then and doesn't get the signal. So we've worked on that. He's not the only one that didn't get the signal the other night. So we're working on that too. Working on hiding signals from the other team. There's all kinds of things that we're trying to get better at. But Buster is a good player, and he's one of our 2 tight ends when we use the 2 tight end formation, he and Justice. He's a true freshman from Atlanta, McEachern High School there. And I didn't know if he'd redshirt this year or what. But he's only about 220, but he can block. He can block a little bit. And he's doing well.
Steve, how much credence do you put in the quarterback's confidence in that being a big part of the reason that you play well or play poorly, and where do you think Stephen's confidence is right now?
Well, we're hoping Stephen's confidence will gain as the week progresses. Obviously, at the end of the last game, it wasn't very good. But we're going to start Stephen. Stephen's going to start the game and hopefully finish the game. And we're going to try to put him in a position where he can play well.
Is confidence a big factor? Is confidence a big factor for a quarterback, do you think, in being able to play well?
Well, I hope so. I hope that quarterback will go out there saying, I'm ready to tear him up today, instead of, oh, what am I going to do today? Yeah, I hope so. And we hope their entire team has confidence that they can play well. Even the left guard needs to have confidence he's going to play well.
Steve, last week Brandon Wilds got a couple of carries. Are you guys going to use him going forward, or maybe still go with the redshirt plan?
Yeah, Brandon's doing well. He's with Kenny Miles sprained wrist. I think Kenny really, he can't even really hold the ball in his right hand right now, so he's probably out another week or so. But Brandon has done very well, and may get a carry or two, a screen pass here and there, whatever. But he's done well. He's going to really be a good player for us. He already is a good player.
Coach, Auburn's defense has really struggled this season. I mean, teams put up, some teams 600 and some yards of total offense. Do you look at this as a chance, or a good chance for your offense to get on track, or is it simply about that progression you've been talking about?
Well, we just have to play the game and see what happens. Clemson against Auburn made 14 of 18 third downs. That's making some third downs there. First 2 downs, Auburn stopped them a bunch. Then they made all those third downs. For some reason, they don't make those. It's a lot closer game. So it wasn't like they just rolled up and down the field. They made all those third downs. When you can make a bunch of third downs, it's really helpful. So you got to give Clemson credit for having third down offense, doing very well there. Heck, we actually made 9 third downs last week. Do you know that, Glenn? Looked like we were stymied all over the place, but somehow or another we made 9 third downs, and Vandy was only 1 of 14, so we didn't win the third down battle. And if we could have cut out some of those holding penalties, we had well over 400 yards of offense, and maybe wouldn't cut back on a couple of picks or something. It would have, it'd been a decent offensive game, but as it turned out, it was very ugly.
Steve, getting back to the subject about a quarterback's confidence, when you were at Florida as a quarterback, did you go through a period where your confidence was shaken, and if so?
As a player?
As a player, yes.
I don't think so. Didn't have as much to worry about as they had today. We didn't have that many plays, just one play. Had the same offense every week. I don't think we had meetings back then. We just go practice. I guess we had a meeting sometime, but we didn't have much. We rolled out, the guy runs an out, every now and then running out and up. I mean, wasn't a lot going on back then. Todd had that run and shoot. He had a lot more meetings and so forth. Yeah.
So did you ever have a bad game?
Oh yeah, I had some bad games. I don't think I had some games I could have done a lot better, put it that way. Certainly.
Steve, Auburn has Michael Dyer, a big physical running back, but do you think that this defense getting to practice against Marcus every week has prepared them for a guy like Dyer?
Well, I hope so. I hope our defense is coming around to what we thought it was going to be in preseason, and certainly last week it was. In fact, that's the most dominant defensive performance since I've been here for 7 years. So if we can get close to that, most of these games, we will certainly have a chance.
When a quarterback struggles, is it a coach's responsibility to maybe get him going in the right direction again?
Exactly. When the quarterback and the offense struggles, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, the offensive line coach, the receiver coach, we all struggle. We're all a big part of whatever happens with the offense. So that's why I don't think many of us were very happy the other night, because our phase of the game didn't perform well. But we're really, really happy from the defense, really happy special teams are playing well. That's my phase also. So two out of three of mine did okay. All right, Josh, what you got?
Two-parter-ish. What do you think about the season Antonio Allen is having? And secondly, that spur position from an offensive coach's perspective, is it difficult to game plan against a guy like Allen who can move around various places?
Yeah, I think so. Antonio, well, he and Melvin, gee, the balls are attracted to them right now. And they have a knack of running into the balls. And that play the other night was sort of interesting. Clowney knocks it out, and Antonio scoops it up, and Melvin's chasing, and he fumbles it to Melvin. The guys that are getting their hands on the ball, and the guy that's creating problems for the quarterback. Same as the Georgia game, almost exactly those three guys. So we got some playmakers on defense. There's no question about that. And hopefully that will continue throughout the year. But Antonio is an excellent pass rusher also. We haven't used him that much yet, but I'm sure we're going to sneak him in there a little bit occasionally.
Steve, now that it's official that Texas A&M is joining the league, what do you know about them? Have you ever coached against them, and what do you know about their program?
Never been to Texas A&M. Lynn, have you been there?
No, sir.
Anybody here have been there? Been there? But it's a big stadium. I think it's seat 90,000. Tremendous tradition. Home of the 12th man. I know that. I see the sign on their wall there when we see some game tapes of A&M and whoever. And of course, watch the A&M Texas game. Seems like they used to play every Friday, Thanksgiving weekend, and so forth. But they're a big time school and should fit well into the SEC. I still don't know how we're going to do the 13th teams, but the commissioner says we're going to work it out. So we have confidence he'll get it worked out.
Steve, just getting back to Michael Dyer, just talk about specifically what problems he presents your defense.
He's a good running back. He's one of the best in the conference, in the country, and they're going to run him a bunch. We know that. They're going to run him a lot more maybe than certainly they did last year with Cam Newton back there. The quarterback's not a real runner. I think he can run a little bit here and there, but Dyer is their main guy. So got to stop him. Got to stop the run game no matter who you play.
Steve, about running backs, I mean, with Marcus here, Dyer there, Trent Richardson, Alabama, is it just a cycle now where the teams near the top of the conference are relying on those kind of solid runners as opposed to, the passing game maybe when you were in Florida in the mid-90s?
Well, it is a little different. In fact, Florida now is leading the conference in rush offense. We're not leading like we were last week. I think Florida rushed for over 400 against Kentucky. So, teams are running for more than they're throwing, which is a little unusual, but that's the way it is here. Some other places they're still throwing for a lot more. But anyway, that's I think the run game has come back. When you look at Oregon and some of those fast-paced offensive teams, they're actually maybe running a little bit more than they're throwing.
Steve, you said you wanted to work on hiding your plays from other teams better. Have you had some indication that folks are stealing your signs?
Yeah, sure. We've not done a very good job hiding our signals. When you call it at the line of scrimmage, sometimes you wait and see if the other guys are yelling something. And they haven't been yelling anything, but we haven't done a good job of hiding. So we had 2 guys signaling last week, and of course we had Buster looking at the wrong signal man a couple times. So that's part of it. I was a freshman. Why didn't you go out on that? That was pass was to you. I thought I was supposed to block to the left. You're looking at the wrong signal man. So stuff can happen. So you have to just keep working on it. Keep working on it.
Do folks actively try to steal signals every game? Is that something y'all do? Is that just common practice, or?
Well, if the other guy just stands right out there and shows you signals, sure, it's helpful. You got to always worry about that. And maybe we've not worried about as much as we should have, so we're trying to be conscious of that.
Coach, your staff's pretty much settled into their recruiting areas, but will Texas A&M make you give a look at Texas players?
I don't think so, Glenn. I think we're pretty much a regional school unless we got a connection somewhere. There's plenty of players from Atlanta area, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, South Carolina. We do a good job in our state and the bordering states in Florida. And now we got a little pipeline up toward New Jersey and Philly area. Demir Bird and a couple guys from up there. We have a lot of students from that area that are coming to South Carolina that helps us up there. So that's about it. I don't think we'll go into Texas. I think a lot of those high school kids may say, now tell me, where is South Carolina? It's right below North Carolina. Okay. They probably don't know a lot about us, but anyway, we're getting a little bit more national attention, obviously with the baseball team, national championships, and being on television so much. It's been really helpful. So we've had a lot more exposure the last 3 or 4 years probably in school history, I'd say.
Coach, according to stats, South Carolina's had only 2 rushing touchdowns versus August in 1996. You expect it to change much this year?
Hopefully we can run something in here. But we're gonna need to pass the ball better. We know that too. We're sort of seeing a style of defense the other teams are playing, which, slants a bunch of guys around, get an extra guy up there. So we better start throwing the ball if we're gonna have good offense. We know that. The other teams know that. But they're gonna stop Marcus first. That's gotta be the goal of every defense we play. They can't let him romp up and down the field. So we know what we need to do. Can we do it is the question.
Coach, I'm sure you've been asked this before. As far as kickoff, right over here, front row.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm sure you've been asked, what's your favorite kickoff time? Do you think the 3:30 p.m. start is a little bit better than night or noon or,
I have
any
no
difference to
favorite
you?
time. I have no favorite time because it doesn't make sense to have a favorite time. Favorite time is whenever the TV boys say this is what time you guys are playing. Kentucky game's going to be at 12:20, I think. So we will have played about all the different times. We haven't had the 8 o'clock game yet. But we may have that before it's over. So whatever time they tell us is fine. And just, work your schedule accordingly.
Last question.
Okay.
Andrew. Last one.
Steve, Kentucky, against Georgia, you threw a couple slants to Alshon, but not a whole lot of slants this year. Is that something that the defense has taken away from you?
Well, we're in the gun a lot. In the gun it's not quite as easy to throw them, but we've probably need to throw more. Yeah, you're right. And we finally threw a fade like to Alshon. He's very good on that. And we don't get a lot of bump and run on him. Usually they're up and back. But we got a little bit last week. Finally hit one of those. But there's a lot of things we could do better. No question about it. And the slants are one of them also. And I'm trying to throw a corner route. We can't hit a corner route right now. So anyway.
All right, Coach, we're gonna get you with the photo with Ryan.
All right, let's get the photos going.